Imagine if your mind held the power to reshape reality itself. Jacobo Grinberg believed it could, but before he could unlock the full potential of his groundbreaking discoveries, he vanished without a trace. What happened to the man who dared to challenge the very fabric of existence? A revolutionary thinker proposed a concept that would forever change how we understand reality. His groundbreaking idea suggested that we exist within a vast, holographic matrix, a dynamic, interactive framework where human consciousness plays a pivotal role in shaping and manipulating the world around us. This matrix isn't merely a passive stage on which we act. It is a living, responsive interface deeply connected to the nuances of our thoughts and perceptions. This profound shift in perspective revealed that reality, far from being fixed and static, is a malleable construct shaped by our own minds. Jacobo said, "To flow means to accept that no one else but oneself is responsible for what happens to us. To accept that what happens is always a reflection of ourselves and an opportunity to grow. Growing means getting closer to what we truly are, and this is the totality in which everything that happens takes place within. In this condition, there is no external, but only oneself." As a psychologist and consciousness researcher, his work broke new ground in areas such as telepathy and extraocular vision, drawing on the concept of the lattice from physics, a framework that shapes space-time. He developed a theory that consciousness, through a process he called synergy, a blend of synthesis and energy, could connect with this lattice to alter space-time itself. He introduced the idea of the hologram, an informational construct in which the human mind perceives and molds reality like a quantum particle influencing the world around it, and sought to explain how the brain engages in non-local interactions. He connected this to the EPR paradox in quantum theory, which implies that particles can influence one another instantaneously across vast distances. Grinberg's work wasn't just theoretical. It was revolutionary in its practical implications. He conducted extensive experiments that seemed to validate his ideas, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible about the human mind. In one groundbreaking study, Grinberg worked with a famous Mexican psychic healer known as Pachita. He meticulously documented seemingly impossible surgical procedures performed without anesthesia or sterile conditions. Pachita, a prominent figure in the realm of curanderismo, was best known for her extraordinary healing techniques, particularly her psychic surgeries. These procedures involved her performing seemingly miraculous operations without the use of anesthesia or sterile instruments. Instead, she wielded a worn hunting knife, which she claimed allowed her to extract damaged organs and replace them with new ones that she conjured from thin air. Her surgeries were characterized by a striking absence of visible scars, as she would close wounds with her hands, leaving patients astonished by their rapid recoveries and lack of complications. Her healing rituals were deeply rooted in a blend of indigenous spirituality and folk Catholicism, emphasizing the interconnectedness of the body and spirit. Before each session, Pachita would enter a trance-like state, often described as a shift into another dimension of consciousness, where she believed she was guided by spiritual forces, including the spirit of Cuauhtémoc, the last Aztec emperor. This connection allowed her to perform complex procedures, such as organ transplants and tumor removals, which she claimed were facilitated by her ability to manipulate energy and matter. Pachita's approach to healing extended beyond physical ailments. She also engaged in cleansing rituals and spiritual consultations, addressing emotional and psychological issues. Her legacy has sparked discussions about the role of belief and the placebo effect in healing, prompting modern medical professionals to explore the integration of traditional practices with contemporary medicine. Despite skepticism from the medical community regarding her methods, the stories of her miraculous healings continue to captivate and inspire, highlighting the enduring power of faith and holistic approaches in the quest for wellness. Patients reported no pain, and wounds healed at an accelerated rate. Was this evidence of consciousness directly manipulating reality? But Grinberg's research went even further. He explored the phenomenon of transferred potentials, the idea that two minds could communicate instantaneously across vast distances. In carefully controlled experiments, he demonstrated that when two people meditated together, their brainwaves would synchronize, even when separated by walls or great distances. This is also proven in quantum mechanics. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon in quantum physics where two or more particles become interconnected in such a way that the state of one particle instantaneously influences the state of the other, regardless of the distance separating them. This led to his most controversial claim, that human consciousness could directly influence the quantum field, the very fabric of reality itself. Grinberg proposed that our thoughts and intentions don't just affect our personal experiences, they reshape the universe around us. Imagine the implications. If Grinberg was right, each of us holds the power to literally change the world with our minds. It's a concept that bridges ancient mystical teachings with cutting-edge physics, suggesting that the universe is more like a vast, interactive hologram than a collection of separate objects. But Grinberg's ideas weren't without their critics. Many in the scientific community dismissed his work as pseudoscience, arguing that his experiments lacked rigorous controls. Yet others saw him as a visionary, decades ahead of his time. As Grinberg continued to push the boundaries of his research, he hinted at even more radical discoveries on the horizon. He spoke of accessing higher dimensions of consciousness, of tapping into a universal field of information that transcends space and time. Was Grinberg on the verge of proving that reality itself is a construct of consciousness? We may never know. But his work continues to inspire researchers and thinkers around the world, challenging us to reconsider the very nature of existence and our place within it. Grinberg's theory didn't stop at the mechanics of thought. It aimed to uncover the origins of consciousness itself. He posited that the brain, through its interaction with the energetic structure of space, produces consciousness. This process, which he called synergy, involves the brain working in tandem with the universe, collapsing the boundary between the observer and the observed. He argued that perception is not just a reflection of external reality, but a neuropsychological construct where information manifests as energy patterns in space. Consciousness, in Grinberg's view, emerges from the synthesis of this information, creating what he called a CGIC effect, where changes in brain activity cause distortions in the space-time fabric, generating our experience of reality. In the realm of vision, Grinberg theorized that neuronal activity within the brain and quantum field interactions come together to create an interference pattern that forms our sensory experience. The lines and shapes we perceive are, according to him, complex energetic structures. What we see as objects and colors are actually products of this interference pattern. Grinberg's ideas resonate with David Bohm's implicate order theory, which suggests that the universe and consciousness emerge from a holographic sea of potential. This perspective also maintains the principle of non-locality, allowing one particle to influence another instantly, mirroring the potential for human minds to do the same. He said, "It all depends on individual functioning, the access to different levels of consciousness. This access is actually a dimensional perceptual transformation, so the levels of consciousness depend on the observer's perception and identification. For example, an observer capable of identifying their individual consciousness with the basic structure of the lattice will reach unity consciousness. In contrast, identification of the observer with the organic body will activate a level of bodily consciousness." During the 1980s, Grinberg's travels throughout Mexico led him to study the wisdom of shamans and psychic healers, seeking to understand how they could manipulate reality in ways that defied conventional explanation. Through his research, he concluded that shamans possess a deep connection to the lattice, allowing them to alter reality, sometimes even materializing objects through neurosurgical means. He believed that individuals with a highly coherent brain, one characterized by coherent energy links, could manipulate the hologram at will, performing feats that transcend our understanding of the physical world. His work dovetails with concepts like the law of attraction, the power of thought, and the impact of language on reality. He proposed that if consciousness can shape the informational matrix, and if everything is interconnected through the energetic exchange of atoms and thoughts, then our perception of reality might not encompass the full spectrum of existence. In this sense, we are like players in a matrix, understanding the physical laws that govern us, but not their deeper origins. Grinberg introduced the notion that true awakening involves mastering the hologram, pushing consciousness beyond its perceived limits to access the deeper layers of reality. Yet, much of Grinberg's work remains unfinished. His investigations into telepathy and extraocular vision in children, along with many other projects, were cut short when he mysteriously disappeared. On December 8, 1994, Grinberg vanished without leaving a trace. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance have sparked countless theories, from crime to alien abduction, with some even suggesting government involvement due to the implications of his research. Was his disappearance a tragic accident, a deliberate act, or something even more extraordinary? The answer remains elusive, but what is clear is that Grinberg's ideas continue to inspire. If you'd like to dive deeper, then please take the time to listen to Dr. Grinberg's audiobook, The Synergic Theory, now available on my page. His theories prompt us to reconsider the interconnectedness of mind, matter, and the cosmos, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in our understanding of reality. Could it be that, as Grinberg believed, the universe is not just something we observe, but something we actively create with our thoughts and consciousness? If this resonates with you, take a moment to ponder the possibility that your own consciousness is not only perceiving, but actively shaping the reality you experience. What would change if you knew this to be true, and what lies beyond the limits of what we think we understand about the world around us? Thank you.